20 years have passed since the world entered the age of demons, beings that roam the air and land, wreaking havoc. Humans were nothing but food for them. However, several people managed to mutate and awaken abilities to fight back. This act of defiance was powerful enough to inspire the rise of hunters, turning demon hunting into a profession. At the Dongzhou Hunter Academy, students with abilities were regarded as nobles. The talentless Fang, however, became the subject of constant harassment. Not only did he bear the humiliating title of the Academy's weakest, but he also suffered relentless bullying from the ability users. A lightning-infused metal bat hit him square in the face as the bully stood over him with an arrogant smirk, lackey at his side, mocking Fang's struggles. "Bloody face, but not broken spirit," Fang retorted, saying that an ability didn't make him great. But the bully, drunk on his own power, was eager to trample the weak to boost his fragile ego. To his surprise, a gust of wind erupted, tossing everyone into the air, everyone but Fang. A girl's figure emerged, asking if it was fun to bully classmates. It was Lin, standing confidently amidst the storm of wind beneath her feet. Fang stared at her in admiration. She was the strongest in the academy, and his childhood friend. The bullies couldn't believe she'd stepped in to help a talentless, trash, like him. But her cold eyes threatened to kill them if they didn't leave. As she released her wind abilities, the three bullies frantically ran away. She then freed him, prompting Fang to express his gratitude. Lin warned that if he didn't awaken any abilities, he might have to repeat the grade. But Fang was certain it wouldn't come to that. He recalled how, 5 years ago, his parents died in a demon attack, and his sister took care of him. Feeling guilty, he planned to drop out if he couldn't awaken any abilities. But when her fist slammed against the wire fence, it startled him. She urged him not to give up, there was still hope for him. As she walked away, she left a few parting words. "He'll be useless trash for the rest of his life if he doesn't do it." Fang watched her leave, thinking she was still as blunt as when they were kids. Hearing her words, determination lit up his face. That night, Fang was still running laps, training himself. Even though he was the weakest in the academy, he wanted to turn the tables. He gritted his teeth at the thought of becoming an elite like Lin. He continued to endure the harsh training, hoping to awaken his abilities. But his running was cut short. He saw two men fleeing in terror. Demons had begun wreaking havoc once again. Amidst the chaos, a little girl was lost, crying for help. Behind her, a towering demon loomed, smiling cruelly as he aimed to crush her. Fang froze when he recognized it, a D-rank demon known as the Blade. As the demon raised its arms, the girl screamed in terror. Despite being talentless, Fang gritted his teeth and courageously stepped in, pulling the girl out of danger's way. Even he thought he was crazy for helping her without any powers. The Blade demon smiled viciously, lunging forward and raking his claw across Fang's back. Fang screamed in pain as the little girl looked on helplessly. Still, the selfless Fang found the strength to tell her to run away. The demon lifted him up, chuckling, and hurled him into a concrete wall. Blood poured from Fang's mouth as he collapsed, the demon's hideous smile enraging him. The demon approached, inevitable death in his footsteps. Grabbing Fang, he slammed him to the ground with crushing force. Fang's eyes dulled, reflecting his helplessness as regrets flooded his mind. But then, his eyes regained their light. He steeled himself, determined to survive, and kill the Blade. The thought of slaying the demon echoed in his head, his face turning red as he finally began to awaken his latent abilities. On the verge of death, Fang was given an option to merge with the demon slayer. He found himself in an unknown place, confused about what was happening. A crimson-red hand grabbed his arm, followed by another hand that caressed his face, followed by lots of hands that swarmed all over him. A demonic hand reached out, asking if he would choose to merge with the demon slayer. As the hands grabbed him, he realized that he didn't have a choice since he was about to die. Veins pot from his face as his mouth hung open. He was thinking that this was the only chance. He extended his finger as a symbol for accepting the demon's offer. They touched formally, concluding the contract and the success of the merging process. Swirls of crimson-red energy emerged as he obtained the power of the demon slayer. Beneath the demon's feet was Fang undergoing a transformation. An immense eruption of demonic energy ensued, shaking the city. The Blade was startled as a more vicious demon appeared before him. He was met by cold and demonic eyes making him nervous. Protruding claws in his hands, feet resembling that of a monster's. He transformed into something far from human. He was surprised as he stood with his demon slayer form. He held his head, complaining about the sharp pain he's experiencing. He stood baffled amidst the battlefield, feeling like losing his consciousness. The demon knew that there won't be any more chances like that, and immediately attacked. The command to kill the enemy reverberated through his head, echoing in his mind. The demon unleashed an attack, but he managed to catch the blade with his bare hand. He lifted the enemy, throwing him away effortlessly. The demon slammed against the wall. However, Fang wasn't done with him yet and grabbed his neck, pushing his body against the ground. He mercilessly dragged the demon across the floor, then once again slammed him against a wall. The demon couldn't retaliate at all. Even his attempt of slashing him was futile as he was quick enough to dodge. He charged at him in response, landing a destructive punch to his face. He was sent flying, obliterating the buildings as he slammed against it. From a distance, two onlookers couldn't believe that the demons were fighting with each other. Fang noticed their presence and turned to them, frightening the onlookers. The voice in his head commanded him to kill the humans who discovered him. Determined to keep his sanity, he told them to get lost if they want to live. Hearing this, they immediately ran away with their tails tucked from behind him. The blade managed to get up. Fang paid him no mind as he thought of maintaining his humanity. The enraged demon screeched, but Fang lunged forward, unintimidated. With his fists, he tore through Blade's body. It was a punch powerful enough that ripped him to shreds. It was then revealed that killing an enemy grants him their fighting abilities. Fang looked at his awakened state, far from the talentless trash he once was back then. His demon slayer form gradually dispersed as he reverted back to his human form. He looked forward, thinking that he might be captured for research if they discovered his ability. He immediately fled away, determined to keep his shapeshift ability hidden. At the suburbs of Dong City, Fang can be seen walking through the alleys. He finally reached home, greeting his sister with his roughed-up appearance. She asked why he was only coming back now, lately noticing that he was injured. He assured her that he was fine, thinking that he was lucky to gain regeneration ability after fusing with the demon. She was almost teary-eyed as she told him to be careful, reminding him of how their parents met their tragic end. He continued assuring his sister, who wiped her tears as she went, to make dinner for him. He could only remark about his sister's hard work. Fang took a quick bath, wiping his hair as he looked at the bowl of ramen his sister prepared. He was delighted at the sight of his favorite food, then asked what his sister had for dinner. She only told him that he had a sandwich at work, making him mad since she always sacrifices herself just for him. He urged her to take better care of herself and not go out of her way for him anymore. The teary-eyed sister was speechless. Tears began falling down her cheeks once again as she expressed how much he meant to her. He then put down the chopsticks on the table, then stood up and promised to earn money through his own abilities. His eyes were full of determination, wanting to give his sister a good life. She turned to him with a smile and cheered him up, saying she believes in him. He smiled upon seeing his sister's smiles. She then urged him to keep eating the ramen as she'll go do the chores. She headed to the sink to wash the dishes, smiling at the thought of her younger brother being all matured. She had hoped that he could graduate smoothly and become a qualified hunter. Fang looked at his phone, browsing for any gigs related to demon hunting so he could earn money. He scrolled down through the list of demon bounty information. He found a suitable gig not so far from his home, making him smile as he could finally use his ability to earn money. However, there was still a problem. The demon slayer is actually a parasite that could potentially take over his body. He sighed. There's no easy task in this world after all. Lightning cracked through the sky as rain fell down. Two soldiers can be seen guarding the ruins of the battlefield. A mysterious man with long gray hair was overseeing the inspection of the ruins. He asked for surveillance footage, but nearby cameras were damaged at that time. He ordered them to gather the witness testimony so they can find the one who killed the demon blade. The man went past him and immediately complied. He already had a hunch in mind. The opponent of the blade Fang must also be another demon. The next morning, Fang can be seen walking around the octopus demon lair for his gig. He looked around, thinking about how the place he used to work turned into this. From behind him lurks the octopus tentacles. As he continued to walk, he was greeted by the corpses of hunters who fell prey to the demons. Little did he know, the octopus demons were already creeping behind him. But it wasn't too long, and he immediately perceived their dangerous aura. When he looked, he was greeted by hideous octopus demons. He looked at these classy bounties as he prepared himself for the impending battle. The three octopus demons immediately leapt, holding their weapons. They landed a devastating attack to which he was able to dodge. He noticed how his body can now move effortlessly, even in human form since his awakening. And that's not all. He can even unleash demon aura from within. The octopus demons quickly charged forward, prompting the automatic activation of Fang's blade ability that surprised him. He flailed around his handblade as he thought of testing it. He slashed down one of them. The remaining two demons leapt forward to attack him, but they were mercilessly mutilated by the edge of his blade. As the demons lay defeated, he couldn't help but feel disappointed that he couldn't plunder any abilities. Suddenly, he was alarmed to hear a noise. Instantly, a horde of uncountable octopus demons appeared all over the place. He was stunned. He fell into their trap. He realized that these demons used the octopus monsters from earlier just to bait him. The endless army of octopus demons immediately charged forward. Fang raised his blade and slashed them. He thought of retreating, but even his escape route was blocked by them. He wasted no time and immediately cut them down. However, there are still a lot of enemies for him to deal with alone. He was slowly exhausting himself as he continued to fight them. But the determined Fang was determined to make it out alive and continued retaliating. He knew that he couldn't keep fighting for long with his human form. He opted to run away as the octopus demons chased after him. Suddenly, a tentacle grabbed his foot, alarming him. His running was put to a halt as they began wrapping around his legs. The D-class demon octopus emerged with his towering figure. He looked at him with fearful eyes. He's much stronger than the blade he encountered earlier. The tentacles completely wrapped around his body, rendering him immobile. He was at the height of desperation as he knew they were going to devour him. His eyes turned red as the voice inside his head urged him to counterattack. The horde of octopus demons swarmed over him, prompting him to activate his demon form to break free. Now in his demon slayer form, Fang went on a merciless killing spree. The octopus was amazed that a human can transform into a demon. Meanwhile, he said he never thought he could fight a few lowly class E demons just to earn money. The octopus mocked him, implying that he doesn't know of his own powers. Fang poked at the demon's arrogant attitude, kicking the ground as he leaped to attack. Every single one of his attacks carried his sentiments and will to survive. However, it wasn't enough to bring down the octopus as it retaliated, pushing Fang away from him. He prepared his tentacles and launched an attack, wrapping all over his body. The demon was delighted that he finally got a hold of him. He threatened to destroy those double swords he was so proud of. The octopus tightened his grip on him and shattered his blades, alarming Fang since he can't use it again for a short time. He then unleashed a barrage of attacks, showering with his destructive tentacles. His attack was so strong that it sent him flying. As he got up, he couldn't help but think that the octopus was far smarter than the blade. He noticed how it always opted for mid-range rather than head-on confrontation. The demon prepared to attack him once again, to which the agile Fang managed to dodge. He thought that his eyes must be its weakness. Seeing how it was soft and exposed, he looked at the ground, planning to throw sand in its eyes. He stood face to face with the demon, hoping for his plan to work. He then kicked the sand toward the octopus, successfully executing his plan. As the demon screamed in pain for Fang, he must use any means necessary to deal with him. He charged forward, exploiting the opportunity created by blinding the demon with sand. The octopus was in agonizing pain, planning to separate from his body. However, Fang immediately grabbed a spear. Unwilling to let him run away, he successfully pierced its head. It played dead, planning to regain its vitality before attacking him again. However, the smart Fang didn't let his guard down. He didn't buy his plain dead act and delivered the finishing blow. Finally killing the octopus, he was able to plunder its tentacle ability. As his killing intent dissipated, his human form gradually restored itself. His body was hurting all over as his self-healing ability wasn't triggered. This time, he was fatigued, but somehow happy that he was able to kill the D-rank octopus demon. At the streets, people's attention was directed at one thing. Fang was carrying all the octopus demon's corpses. As he took his steps, he found himself in the front of the Hunter Guild building. As he went inside the Hunter Guild building, Fang was greeted by the sight of other bounty hunters. Suddenly, two inspectors of the Hunter Union noticed the corpse of the octopus behind his back. Fang looked at them, to which they replied with skepticism as to whether he really killed it or stole it from another hunter. He asked if students can't fight demons, to which the inspectors asked him for his hunter license to prove it, but he knew of the rules. Inspectors aren't authorized to look at others' licenses. The inspectors groundlessly concluded that he stole the demon and immediately attacked him, but their slow mugs were no match to his speed. The crowd noticed the commotion and they started paying attention. Meanwhile, an old man named Zugo smiled, thinking he was no ordinary student. The inspectors went on with their crap and charged forward. One attempted to grab his prey, but his wrist was grabbed instead. It was followed by a devastating punch to his face that sent him down. Meanwhile, the other inspector attempted to attack from behind. Fang ducked down and grabbed his hand, slamming him to the ground. The crowd displayed mixed reactions, but their murmurs were silenced when Zugo stepped forward. Turns out he was the vice president of the Hunter Union. The inspectors pathetically turned to him, hoping he would take action. Fang wore a helpless face. Fortunately, Zugo scolded the inspectors instead. They tried to retaliate, but he immediately fired them. They could only cry as their foolish actions led to their unemployment. Just like that, they became unemployed, pathetic, just as they deserved. He then turned to him, deducing that he must have an outstanding hunter ability. He looked sad for a while, then revealed that he doesn't have any hunter abilities. The crowd were surprised at this revelation, thinking that he was hiding something. The old man smiled, patting his shoulder as he said that he believes in him. He escorted him, leaving the crowd in disbelief. As he laid down the demon corpses, Officer Xiao introduced herself as she received the items. He couldn't help but admire her flawless telekinetic ability. Meanwhile, Zugo teased them and said they could talk since Xiaonan is still single. Fang expressed his gratitude for accepting him even without any ability. The old man then revealed that they are of the same kind. He also has no abilities and relied on constantly honing his physical body. Fang was surprised that he was able to become the vice president of the Hunter Union without any abilities. Shell then finished the transaction and returned his bank card. He thanked her, delighted that he was able to make so much money for the first time. The old man promised to teach him some moves next time. Meanwhile, Xiaonan finds Fang handsome and wonders what his type was. He thought that it was nice to have the opportunity to learn from Zugo. But as he held his bank card, he was more excited to tell his sister that he earned a lot of money. It was nighttime. Fang was crossing the streets on his way home. He raised his bank card, delighted that he earned a lot of money this time. However, a news flash caught his attention. His eyes dilated in surprise. His fight with the blade was featured on it, hailing him the Demon Lord. He was worried that he was on the news, wondering who uploaded it. The deputy leader of the Demon Hunter Department, Lone Wolf, was being interviewed. He began by saying that demons were never friendly creatures and advised everyone to be careful. He then declared that they aimed to hunt the Demon Lord. Amidst the crowd that was watching the news was Fang, wearing a serious face as listened. Murmurs of mixed emotions regarding the appearance of the Demon Lord were heard. With this, he knew that he had to be careful not to reveal his identity. Back in the suburb of Dong City, he finally made it home and greeted his sister. She immediately opened up the conversation about the news of the Demon Lord. She told him to be careful on his way home. He sighed. Even his sister knew about this. He told her not to pay attention to those videos, then gave her the bank card that contains his hard-earned money. He said that he became strong enough to hunt demons for money. She was happy, guessing that he awakened his hunter powers. She worriedly asked if he was hurt from fighting demons. He assured her that he was fine and urged her to take the money to pay off their parents' debt. He then asked about the demon who killed them back then. His sister looked gloomy as she said it has always been a mystery, revealing that the killer was a mysterious demon in the form of a flame. It was all she knew, leaving Fang lost in thoughts. He clenched his fist, determined to grow strong and take revenge. But his sister caressed his face, saying, they don't need to take revenge yet, and they just need to live peacefully together. He blushed at her gesture. The next day, Fang was frantically running around the campus grounds as he was already late. He sprinted through the hallways, then finally reached his room. As he entered, he was greeted by the buzzing murmurs about the popular news of the Demon Lord. He sighed. Being popular is indeed tiring. Suddenly, Lin approached him and remarked that he had changed. She added that he seemed a bit stronger than the last 2 days. The bullies from earlier approached them, still not having their lessons learned. Lin prepared to teach them their lessons again, but Fang stopped her, saying she must not bother herself with a lowly dog. Hearing this, TM was pissed. He activated his ability to attack him, repelling a bowl of food, but he effortlessly caught it, then charged and slammed the bowl to his face. Tian was sent down the floor, frustratedly hitting the ground with his fist. Electricity blitzed around his body as he charged while berating him. But to his surprise, Fang was able to dodge. He provocatively asked if that was all he could do, pissing the bully even more. He then gave him a gut-wrenching knee, sending him flying away. The bully was in disbelief that he was now strong. He stood in front of the defeated bully, unwilling to be looked down on ever again. Their classmates were both in disbelief and awe, saying that Tian deserved it. Lin knew that even if he had trained in secret, he couldn't beat the bully. She was wondering if he awakened some body-strengthening ability. Suddenly, a voice chimed in and urged them to stop. It was their teacher asking them to follow him outside for the demon hunting test. The whole class were worried that they would have to face a real devil. Meanwhile, Tan was assisted by his lackey as he tried to get up. Wearing a wicked expression, he threatened him that he would take revenge. With this, Fang realized that he needed to get rid of him when he got the chance. At the Academy Mountain, everyone was standing in front of the towering gate for the briefing. The instructor explained that the demon hunting test was part of the preparation for their graduation exam. In this test, they will be facing a Class F grass demon that will stimulate their potential. Seeing that the demons were low-ranked, everyone was thrilled. Lin asked for his opinion, to which he said that the competing students are far more dangerous than the demons. The instructor announced the opening of the test venue. As the massive gate opened, Tan and his lackeys hurriedly charged inside. The other students followed them shortly. Inside the test venue, human bones and corpses can be seen. Fang remarked that grass demons are weak enough that they're having difficulty killing humans. Suddenly, they were alarmed. The enemies were coming. Lin finds it unusual that the grass demons have already arrived. She told him to get behind her as he couldn't fight with so many grass demons, but to her surprise, Fang volunteered to face them. He quickly dashed around, taking down several grass demons at once. He noticed 2 more demons sneaking from behind him. They charged forward at Lin, who seemed unaware of their presence. He yelled for her to watch her back and took down the demons, leaving her surprised. He continued dashing around, thinking that these grass demons were much weaker than the blade and octopus he hunted before. Lin was surprised. How did he get so strong in just a few days? He dismissed her question and urged for them to absorb their essences first. They began absorbing their essences. Suddenly, something caught Lin's attention. The students were running away from an unexpected appearance of a stronger demon. She prepared to fight, but he stopped her as he noticed that it wasn't an ordinary demon. A tree-looking demon emerged, wreaking havoc all around the place. He was worried. It was a Class D tree demon. The tree approached them as it exuded a menacing aura. Fang patted her shoulder and told her to stay away from it. But then Tan and his dog pack emerged, saying, "Only cowards run away." He said that a true hunter must face demons no matter what. As the 3 brainless dogs stood in front of them, Lin remarked that he must have beaten his brains out. The arrogant golden retriever cluelessly faced the demon, aiming to declare his strength to Lin and Fang. From a distance, their classmates were skeptical whether Tan was indeed reliable, but since he was so confident, their classmates believed that he might have the ability to do so. He charged forward, activating his abilities. The demon effortlessly blocked his attack, smiling menacingly as it got a hold of him. He then hit him with a bottom fist, pummeling him down to the ground. His lackey stood worried as Tan angrily demanded for them to help him. The demon raised his foot, then kicked him toward his lackeys. Fang and Lin knew that this would happen. The gap in their levels was big after all. Tian was angry that he got all beaten up. The 2 of them decided to step in, aiming to harvest their materials for themselves. The demon noticed their presence and turned to them. Meanwhile, their classmate couldn't believe that they were planning to deal with the tree demon. Tian's lackeys urged them to get out despite his stubbornness. Lin activated her wind abilities, unleashing her cutting waves of air, but the demon just laughed it off, surprising her that her abilities couldn't even scratch the tree demon. Fang knew that the only way to break its body was to find a hole in it. Lin continued fighting against the rampaging demon as he assessed the situation. The demon unleashed a devastating blow that shattered the ground. Fang was in a dilemma. He couldn't use his demon form to beat the enemy in Lin's presence. She was struggling to fight the demon who seemed to be laughing at their helplessness. Fang grabbed her and urged them to get out. The demon hit the ground, summoning wooden spikes. These spikes eventually became a prison, separating the 2 of them. She could only call his name as the wooden prison enclosed, trapping Fang alone with the tree demon. Lin activated her wind ability to break the wood prison. Inside, the towering figure of the tree loomed over him. He began transforming as he resolved to defeat the demon before she could break the wood prison. The tree raised its fists to attack while Fang has already completed his transformation. He dashed around, cutting the demon's arms with his blade. Fang managed to successfully injure the tree demon. It then screeched as he looked back, but the demon's injured arm grew back instantly, surprising him that it has a regeneration ability. He immediately charged, exploiting the opportunity to attack it as it recovers. He faced the demon courageously, unleashing another attack to cut it down. The tree was enraged, slamming its hands on the ground as it summoned several wooden spikes. The protruding spikes chased him, aiming to pierce his body, but he saw an opportunity to counterattack. He fused his tentacle and blade ability, summoning a sharp, cutting tentacle. The tree demon was surprised. His tentacle blade pierced through the tree's body. He then pulled it out, ripping off the demon's body. With this, he finally killed the tree. He obtained both its thorn and accelerated regeneration skill as he reverted back to his human form. He then noticed the tree demon's essence. As he knelt and reached for it, he was surprised by the wood prison suddenly breaking. Lin entered the scene and assured that she would save him, only to see that he had already killed the tree. He revealed that he awakened a body-strengthening ability that helped him defeat the demon. She was in disbelief that he had become so strong in just a few days, but he said it was not really impressive when compared to high-rank awakeners. She agreed and urged them to leave the forest first. In front of the class, the instructor praised Lin and Fang for defeating the demon, but their classmates were doubtful that Fang was of any help. Meanwhile, Tan was infuriated that he wasn't able to kill the demon. Suddenly, it was revealed that someone was looking for him. He's having a bad feeling about it as he wondered who it might be. Outside, the deputy leader of the demon hunting union was waiting. He looked at Fang, who had just arrived. Seeing his familiar face, he grew anxious that his secret might have been leaked out. He clenched his fist, saying that it'll be fine if he stayed in his human form. He smiled and asked why he was looking for him, to which he revealed that there was a teenager who saved a little girl from the demon blade. He then said that they were able to trace him. He laughed, saying that saving the girl was no big deal, but then he opened the topic about the demon lord and the blade, making him grow even more anxious. Fang murmured that it was the blue demon. He then played dumb, saying he also watched it on the TV news. From behind, Lin was wondering how Fang got involved with people from the demon hunting union. The deputy leader then asked him to narrate what happened, surprising him. He confirmed that he indeed met the demon, saying that it came after he saved the girl. The deputy leader lit his cigarette and asked where it went after, to which he said that it disappeared. However, the deputy leader saw no traces of the demon lord upon checking the cameras. He then concluded that the demon lord had merged with him instead of leaving the scene. Fang was surprised. A massive skeletal hand was summoned over him. It gripped him tightly, making him unable to break free. Lin worriedly called for Fang, but she was stopped by another summoned skeletal hand. He menacingly said that no one is authorized to interfere with the officials of the demon hunting union. She couldn't retaliate because of the huge gap in strength. He desperately said that he's not the demon lord, but the deputy leader was skeptical. He then said that if he really wanted to prove his innocence, he must accept the test obediently. He placed his hand before Fang as his blue aura leaked. Given his situation, Fang was so anxious that he might get taken away for human research. The blue aura made contact with him, surprising the deputy leader as the result was not what he predicted. He was dumbfounded that this kid doesn't have a trace of demonic energy. He then revealed that he had misjudged him, deactivating his ability and letting him go. Lin bearded the deputy leader for bullying them, to which he stopped her. Before he left, the man said he'll remember him and see him next time. He was lucky that his demon slayer form wasn't leaked. Lin asked if he was all right, to which he assured her. She sighed and said there were so many things to worry about, then invited Fang to dinner out of nowhere. It was nighttime. Fang and Ling were walking down the busy streets of Dong City. He threw a glance on her, admiring her beauty. On the other hand was Lin, speechless. She reached for his hands and suggested they hold hands, too. They both blushed upon touching each other's hand. He smiled and looked at her, asking if they were on a date. As they walked while holding hands, they met Xiaonan from the Hunter Union. Fang found himself in an awkward situation, being questioned by the girls. Xiaonan thought he was single and planned to invite him to dinner. He introduced Lin as his classmate and childhood friend. She sighed as she realized that her chances of getting close to him were almost zero. He then asked her to join them for dinner, to which she refused and said she had to go home. She then reminded her to see Vice President Zugo for combat training. He smiled and bowed his farewell, relieved that she didn't misunderstand anything. They watched as she walked away. Lin then told him that he seemed like he didn't want to leave. He replied that there's no way since they still need to have dinner. He grabbed her hand and suggested they try the tasty barbecue restaurant nearby. However, she said she was a little tired. He then proposed to carry her, only to find the next situation embarrassing. Lin was riding on his head and shoulders, making him blush. He told her that he only proposed to carry her and not give her a ride. She winked, saying it was the same thing. Anyway, they ignored the strangers as she began recalling their childhood memories. He closed his Aizen did the same. When they were kids, Fang used to carry her on his shoulders. He would trip on a banana peel, Hufukage fell on a banana peel. Anyways, these caused them to collapse on the ground. Lin would cry and he would appease her by giving her chocolate. She would thank him as he patted his head. He smiled as he reminisced about those memories. He then happily sped up the pace to which she asked him to slow down. At the barbecue restaurant, Fang let out a delighted burp after he was stuffed. Meanwhile, Lin seemed to be sulking that he didn't talk to her at all and just focused on eating. They then overheard a conversation about the charred female body on the nearby street. It was said that the body was hung on a pole with the assailant remaining unknown. He felt strange since his parents were also burned to death. Lin suggested that they go take a look. They stood up and prepared to leave. Outside the place, the two of them found themselves behind the crowd. They were making a fuss over the burned corpse of a woman hanging on a pole. Fang guessed that the murderer did all these to deliberately create panic, but then something caught Lin's attention. It was the pattern on the corpse's forehead. Such an ominous pattern was revealed to be the symbol of the Devil's Church.